Good morning, kindergarten. Mrs. Alexander here, and I'm going to be teaching you reading today. Today for reading, we are learning to answer questions about key details. And by the end of this lesson, you'll be able to discuss characters' feelings. So the other day, we read the story Flower Garden. Today, we're going to be rereading the story. I want you to listen carefully to hear anything you might have missed the first time you read the story. Flower Garden by Eve Bunting, illustrated by Kathleen Hewitt. Flower Garden. Garden in a shopping cart. Doesn't it look great? Garden on the checkout stand. I can hardly wait. Garden in a cardboard box. Walking to the bus. Garden sitting on our laps. People smile at us. Garden going up the stairs, stopping at each floor. This garden's getting heavier. At last, our own front door. Hurry, hurry! Get the trowel. Spread the papers thick. Get the bag of potting soil. Get the planting mix. Put purple pansies at each end, daisies white as snow, daffodils, geraniums, and tulips in a row. Here we have our purple pansies, and our daisies, and our daffodils, and geraniums, and our tulips. No, those are pansies. Pansies, these are geraniums. Garden in a window box, high above the street. Where butterflies can stop and rest, and ladybugs can meet. And it's a little ladybug. Walkers walking down below will lift their heads and see purple, yellow, red, and white, a color jamboree. There's the flower box. The people walking, they get to see the flowers in the window box and enjoy them too. There's the little girl. Candles on a birthday cake. Chocolate ice cream too. Wonder why they would have a birthday cake. Someone's walking through the door. Happy birthday, Mom. A garden box for you. And there they are as a family, enjoying the garden box. Now I want you to think for a minute. What did you hear during the second reading of the story that you missed during the first reading? You can pause and think for a second. There was lots of things that maybe we could have missed, right? We could have maybe seen the different types of flowers in the in the flower box. Let's see that they had when they planted them. All the different kinds. Maybe you just kind of looked quickly and said, oh, there's a bunch of flowers. But they have pansies on each end, right? Lots of things we could have missed looking at the picture. There's another part. Oh, maybe the little ladybug sitting on her hand, right? Let's turn to this page. Listen carefully. Garden on the checkout stand. I can hardly wait. How do you think the girl feels in this part of the story? And what makes you think that? How do you think she feels? And what makes you think that? Please pause and think for a minute. It says here, I can hardly wait. This tells the reader that the girl feels very excited about making a flower box for her mom. She's very excited. She can hardly wait. On this page, on these 2 pages, it says, happy, happy birthday, Mom. A garden box for you. How do you think the mother feels about her special gift? And what makes you think that? Pause for a moment and think. How do you think the mother feels about her special gift? And what would make you think that? Maybe she thinks she's happy because she's smiling, right? Or maybe she feels surprised because she didn't know they were making the flower box, right? Happy, surprised. Maybe she feels special, right? Because the girl and her dad made her the gift. So maybe the mom had lots of different feelings of happiness. All right, guys, nice job. Now, in our next part of our lesson, we are going to be learning how to understand the concept of rhymes. So rhyming will be lots of fun. And by the end of this lesson, we'll be able to identify rhyming books in another story we're about to read. So I'm going to share my screen with you. Okay, and the next story we're going to be reading is called Hands Can. And we have also read this book in our last lesson. And this story is written by Shara Willis Hudson. And the photographs in this book are by John Francis Burke. I want you to think for a minute. We had read this in a previous lesson, but what do you remember about this book? What kind of things do you remember? What kind of things? Yeah, maybe it was all different kinds of things that you can do with your hands, right? So we're going to reread Hands Can, and we're going to think more about the words in this book. Hands Can by Shara Willis Hudson. Photographs by John Francis Burke. Now students, you can chorally read with me as I read this story. Remember, when we're chorally reading, we're reading together at the same time. And make sure you follow along with my little magnifying glass. That's going to be our pointer. Hands can wave to say hello. Hands can touch things, high and low. Hands can learn to tie a shoe. Hands can say, I love you. Hands can hold things. Hands can mold things. Hands can catch And hands can throw. Hands can plant seeds in a row. Hands can mix things. Hands can fix things. Hands can clap while voices sing. Hands can do all kinds of things. Peekaboo! Bye-bye. The end. That was a fun story to reread. Okay, students, what we're going to do now is I'm going to read 2 sentences from the book, and I would like you guys to listen carefully for the words that I'm reading aloud in the sentences. Let me turn to my pages that I need. Okay, listen carefully to these words. Hands can mix things. Hands can fix things. What is the same about these 2 sentences? Think for a moment. What is the same about these 2 sentences? What is different? Think for a moment. Hands can mix things. Hands can fix things. What is the same or different in these 2 sentences? If you thought that there were rhyming words, you are correct. There are 2 words that rhyme. We have mix and fix. Mix and fix rhyme. And we know that they rhyme because they both sound the same at the end. Mix, fix. Mix, ix, ix. Fix, ix, ix. Right? They both sound the same at the end. Mix, fix. They rhyme. Let's think of some other words that might rhyme. Cat, bat. Cat, at. Bat, at. Do they rhyme? Yes, because they both sound the same at the end. Let's think of 2 other words. What about duck and hat? Duck, uck. Hat, at. Do they rhyme? Do they sound the same at the end? No. Duck has that uck and hat has at. They do not rhyme because they do not sound the same at the end. Let's go through more pages in our book and see if we can find more rhyming words. Remember, words that sound the same at the end. Listen to this sentence. See if you can hear anything that rhymes. Hands can learn to tie a shoe. That's our first sentence. Hands can say, I love you. What other word, what 2 words do we hear in these 2 sentences that rhyme? Listen carefully. Hands can learn to tie a shoe. Hands can say, I love you. If you said shoe and you are correct. Let's double check to make sure they rhyme. Shoe, ooh, ooh, you, ooh, ooh. Yes, they both sound the same at the end. Shoe and you rhyme. Let's continue and see if we can find any more rhyming words. This is fun. Okay, listen carefully. Hands can hold things. Hands can mold things. Do we hear any other rhyming words? Did you think hold and mold? Let's double check. Hold, old. Mold, old. Do they sound the same at the end? Hold, old. Mold, old. Yes, they both sound the same at the end. They both have that old sound. Good. Hold, mold. Let's see if we can find any more. Okay, listen carefully. Hands can catch and hands can throw. That's our first sentence. Hands can plant seeds in a row. Listen again, this one might be trickier. Hands can catch and hands can throw. Hands can plant seeds in a row. What two words rhyme in those two sentences? Think. If you guessed throw, and row, you are correct. Throw, and row, both have the same ending sound, O. Good job, students. Now that we have identified all the rhyming words in the book, we're going to go back and chorally read the story again. And now that we know the rhyming words, it'll make it much easier to read the story. Remember, make sure you follow along with my pointer. And when we are chorally reading, we are reading all together in unison at the same time. Make sure you're following my pointer or my magnifying glass. Hands Can by Cheryl Willis Hudson. Photographs by John Francis Burke. Hands Can by Cheryl Willis Hudson. Photographs by John Francis Burke. Hands can wave to say hello. Hands can touch things high and low. Hands can learn to tie a shoe. Hands can say, I love you. Hands can hold things. Hands can mold things. Hands can catch and hands can throw. Hands can plant seeds in a row. Hands can mix things. Hands can fix things. Hands can clap while voices sing. Hands can do all kinds of things. Peekaboo! Bye-bye. Well, students, I had so much fun rhyming with you. Rhyming is a lot of fun, and you can rhyme all the time. Oh, rhyme time. There we go. The words that rhyme. Go around and find some words that rhyme. Remember our little trick. Cat, at, bat, at. They have the same ending sound. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.